Welcome back to Real Business Roundtable. Last week we recorded a little bit more of an industry specific episode where we talked about the growth in that construction, right? We talked about how to grow construction within the business, and then also through digital efforts and initiatives. And so today we're going to talk about another industry, and that is
restaurants, food
industry service. Cool. So as a company, we have a lot. Are we talking about that? We're talking about our clients and stuff?
We're not going to name drop clients, but we're going to talk about our experience blowing restaurants up from 500,000 to 8 million.
Yeah. So we have a lot of food clients, and that is just one vertical that we do really well in. And so we're well versed. We have a lot of experience in that industry, over a decade of experience in growing restaurants, and every single one of our clients does very, very well.
Now it's reached a point where we actually have very, very big restaurant groups that are contacting us because of our track record. So we thought we'd create a video to kind of give you the average small business restaurant owner some guidance on what's important and how to compete in a very, very saturated industry, which is how many pizza places, how many Mexican restaurants, how many Italian restaurants there are in a specific area, especially a major metropolitan area. So we wanted to share some ideas on how you could stand out, drive the maximum amount of people to your menu in order to have a steady flow of potential new customers coming in.
Yeah, and it's also just really interesting going back and forth between talking about the different marketing strategies and the different business strategies that these businesses have, and just comparing them. It's really interesting, and I think it's fun to just analyze this sort of stuff. So you want to get kind of into okay. So essentially, when we talk to a business, we have requirements within a business, and so with that being said, you need a solid foundation within a restaurant. So you got to have good food, obviously. And you also have to have, right people in place. Good service is going to sell itself any day, all the time. And so just having a good foundation within your business, not even talking about digital, just having, people with good people skills, people who are, happy to be in that industry or excited to be in that industry, great service. Like I said, it says a lot. So having a good foundation, for the plan to grow within digital is very, very, very important.
Yeah, you can't just think because you have a great pizza or you have a great sub or you have a great taco that you're automatically going to see success. You will hit you'll hit a plateau that will always happen with any type of word of mouth, because just when somebody says I do word of mouth, that just means that you just have a good product, you have a great foundation in place, which is the baseline of any good business. When we come into the picture, we take businesses from wherever they are at. Let's say they're at a plateau, they're stuck at $1 million a year. We come in, we make all the changes, all the implementation, all the recommendations to push past that plateau. The only way anything is going to change in your restaurant is if you push and you add new things, new tactics, and put together a strategy to help you past that level. Now, what does it mean by tactics? The first thing, first and foremost, aside from having a great foundation, good reviews, good product, welcoming atmosphere, great recipes, you have great service. Aside from that, we want to talk about actually making the cash register ring more bit by bit. And the first thing we always recommend to customers is looking at how many people are looking at your menu each month. Mm-hmm. So we want to get a threshold. Are we talking about 500 people? Or are we talking about 5,000? So whatever that number is currently, so you use your analytics tool. Let's say there's several tools out there that you can use. You can use like agency analytics. You have that sit behind your website, and you get a breakdown of where traffic's coming from. Menu traffic can really give you a true temperature on where you're at and where you want to be. So you look at, okay, like for example, 500 people are looking at your menu a month. You're currently at $1 million a year in annual sales. The things that you can do to maximize menu views, first and foremost, is having a website that properly indexes on the search engines. That would take search engine optimization. So you either need to learn how to do it, hire someone to do it, or have a growth consultants like us help you with that.
Real quick, I wanted to add in, hold on to that thought. I wanted to add in having, analytics tools for your websites and for, everything essentially is very important, because it helps either you or a consultant, like you just mentioned, understand what you have to do in order to grow. So every business is different. Every business has different analytics. Every business, is different. And in order to have a strong growth strategy, in order to have, a good strategy, you need to understand those analytics. So that's very, very important.
Yeah. So the sources of traffic can be either search engines, search engine results. So this means, is your menu showing up on a first page search result when someone searches tacos near me, restaurant near me, place to get lunch near me? All of these words have something associated with them called search volume. Search volume is the amount of people that search for that phrase. So if you either work with a consultant like us or someone internally, you want to use some of the free tools out there that can give you an understanding of how many people are searching these terms. So when you integrate these keywords, these phrases within your website and your content, you'll know that, hey, I'm working on showing up for this word because 5,000 people search this word in my area. Now, that's for search engines. The other side of the coin is social media. Now, social media is very, very important in today's world, where you're taking high quality photos of your most popular dish paired with a certain drink. So let's say you have a full bar. You can do, this drink with this dish, or this wine with this dish, and you can pair it together, make a social media post, put it on Instagram, and use the proper hashtags.
Yeah, Instagram is very important for restaurants. You want to get your brand out there, and that's a perfect way to present that brand, and having what is it called? A good theme. I'm like blanking on my words.
So when you're making social media posts, you want to make sure that it's following your restaurant's vibe, your theme, your look, your feel. You don't want to go outside of that. So when you're working with a photographer, again, this is what people see. This is one of the forms of communication. Your presentation, your communication, and your visibility. Those are the three things you want to step up. So when it comes to presentation, you want nice photos. You want to hire a good photographer. You want to come in, do a photo shoot, get pictures of all your hot items. Make posts around those hot items with the proper hashtags. Find what hashtags get the most follows. Then that will drive in organic traffic through Instagram. Make sure you're making consistent posts to Facebook. And if you can't keep up with it, you can ask somebody internally to help you with social media, or you can hire an agency or a growth coach, growth consultant to help you manage that stuff to make sure that you're keeping up with it. And it comes down to how big are you currently? Are you doing 2 million a year, 3 million a year? Let's say you have a staff of 30, but you still want to grow. You still need to make sure that your social media posts are being kept up with, that you're being creative, that you're basically making people's appetites get triggered just by your photos.
Yeah, social media is extremely important when it comes to restaurants. I mean, do you remember the hashtag that just completely blew up? It's probably one of the most popular hashtags out there at the time, was food porn.
Yeah.
So that people love that. That's a perfect, example of, why people love looking at food. Like, people may not understand that, but
look at like the roaming foodie. He has a ton of followers. He does that slow, like, opens up the steak and cheese, and he stretches the cheese, and
the most viral videos out there and the most viral posts out there have to do with food. Food is extremely viral. I mean, look at Dave Portnoy with his pizza reviews. I mean, you have to be creative with it.
You know what's funny?
The wings too.
You know what's funny? Jay, my business partner, tried to get me to do pizza reviews, and I'm like, I don't want to typecast myself. And then Portnoy started doing it, and he blew up with the pizza reviews. But I'm a wicked pizza snob. I'm also a coffee snob.
Yeah.
Because I'm like crazy. Like, when I taste pizza, I'm like, oh, this is shit. This is good. They have a cheese blend. Oh, they just use shit mozzarella. Oh, this crust is shit. So I'm like, always, since I was like, I don't know, in my teens, always judging pizza. Like, oh, it's a new pizza place. Let me try it. But No,
we're gonna.
I don't want to. I don't want to be a pizza review person.
No, but we should.
I don't want to typecast myself. I'm the business growth guy. That's my thing. That's my brand. I don't want to be the pizza guy. I grow businesses.
And see what he's doing right there. And listen, actually, a lot of people can take away from that. What he's doing right there is, I understand his point of view, but if you're a, any type of business owner, doing that sort of stuff is different. And it's gonna, like Dave Portnoy, for example, he owned a media company and he went out and did pizza reviews. Like, what media company owner does pizza reviews? None. And he's the most famous media company owner in the world. So, it's just kind of,
I know. My own personal opinion was, do I want to be the pizza review guy? And the big answer was no.
No, and I understand that. I'm thinking about doing, we should do like,
I've had clients, I've talked about getting into other ventures with clients, and I see them get uncomfortable. They're like, ooh, why are you doing that? And it's almost like, all right, I want to stay in my lane, and I want to stick with what I'm really good at. I don't want to go outside of that. I have a lot of cool ideas for restaurants and stuff like that, but am I going to get into the restaurant industry? Probably not. But I just felt that with my own personal brand, do I want to be the pizza review guy? And that just wasn't a fit.
It's traction.
But contacting influencers. Mm-hmm. So there's a local influencer around here called the Roaming Foodie. He goes around and he does reviews on restaurants, but he shows very, very, very vivid, you called it like food porn type of thing, where you actually see him eating it or he's dipping, and it's very like in your face action eating.
Yeah, no matter where you are, if you go on social media and you search up, food reviews or whatever, there's gonna be influencers out there who you can reach out to, and you can be like, hey, come and eat for free. Give us a review. It could be, hopefully your food's good, because if it's bad, then it'll look really bad.
Yeah, some of these guys have millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, and if that's within your area, why not do it? We knew one restaurant that used an influencer that was a client of ours, and they ran out of food. They had a line coming out the door from one influencer.
And that's just a couple examples of why, as a restaurant owner, you should really, invest time and thought into different social media strategies, like reaching out to influencers or getting a nice video. Have, someone who works for you do it. Get a nice video. It speaks it says a lot. It gets your name out there. And when someone's online on Instagram or on TikTok or whatever platform, and they see a video of food, it intrigues them. They want to go in. One of the biggest strategies that we do have to do with videos of food, and we put it pretty much everywhere. We put it on the top page of a website, and it brings a lot of traffic.
Yeah, so speaking of video, that's the next thing as a restaurant owner that you want to look at and make an investment on, is finding a great videographer, someone who's creative. Make sure they have a drone. Make sure they have camera guys doing this. Make sure they have a drone. Make sure that they know how to be a director. Make sure that they don't ask you what you want. Just, they should be talking to you about what makes your restaurant unique. What are your featured items? Make sure they get a nice shot of the energy, the customers happy, customers eating, showing shots of like food coming out of the oven, and then have, a professional edit that video and integrate it on the top fold of your website. It's usually referred to as a hero video, or you see other websites with hero images. What is that? That's when you land on a website, it's the first thing you see at the top, which gives you almost like a way into the restaurant before going there. Now think about it. As a customer that has never tried your food, let's say you have a great reputation, they're just reading these reviews, they're not sure, but when they go to your website, when they're going to check out your menu, they're like, oh, wow, oh, look at the cheese, and like, look at this, look at that, look at the steaming bread, and like, oh, it looks so good, and like, look at this dish coming out of the oven, or look at this like skillet sizzling, or something on the grill. Like, that is going to make people's mouths water. It's going to trigger their appetite and want to go to your restaurant. So we're talking about drawing people in with video. Video is very powerful.
So there's two types of videos, just to kind of close this out. There's two types of videos that you want to get. There's a video where you as the business owner or someone, maybe a manager, is talking about the restaurant, is talking about your history in the food industry, is talking about your expertise in your food and your restaurant, and then, you know, having some B-roll shots and just a very well put together video of you talking and this and that of the restaurant. And then another video that is extremely important is of the food itself, of the food being made, of the food being, you know, put together on a dish, you know. And you take both of those videos, and if you put them everywhere online, you put them on every single platform under your account, it's going to get you a lot of traffic.
Another thing that I would recommend is maintaining reoccurring attention. So a lot of restaurants do this. You see, like Crumble Cookies does it. Every single week they have new flavors, right? So for a restaurant, what you want to do
up the menu
is you want to switch up the menu, have specials every week, which you probably already do, but you need to get the word out there. Make sure you have social media posts, that your specials are being mentioned on the website. If you have live music, if you have events, if you have something going on, make sure you're updating all of your social media and your landing pages to alert the potential customers that you have something going on. You list your specials so people are curious to come back. Keep that reoccurring, and you'll have that steady flow of consistent traffic coming to you. When it comes to like live music and events, you want to make sure that you have somebody on your team, or you're working with an agency, or you're working with guys like us that are going to keep you up to date, updating these things, changing things for you to keep the eyeballs seeing you and also knowing what's going on.
Yeah. So just to kind of have a, you know, a higher look on everything, when it comes to a restaurant, I don't think advertising is as important as everything else. Advertising is great for many industries, and, you know, a lot of industries put a lot of money behind it. But for a restaurant, look at it as like a luxury in a sense, because you have so many different outlets that you could use that are, in my opinion, more important. For example, social media. As long as you're consistent on social media, you have good quality content on social media, it's perfect. That's going to act as advertising, because everyone's on social media. If you post something on Instagram and, you know, people are going to see it in your area, it's just going to happen. Or if you post it on TikTok, people are going to see it in your area. It just naturally happens with the algorithm. Maybe not so much Instagram, but TikTok for sure.
Oh yeah.
TikTok has this algorithm where like it'll push videos to you from around your area. So you're into cars, right? Maybe someone posts a video about their, you know, luxury car, their exotic car. You're going to see that video and be like, oh shit, they're in this state, whatever. The same thing will work for restaurants. If you have a TikTok page and you post a ton of videos on there, food, of customer service, whatever it is, it's going to get pushed to people in your area naturally. But so yeah, having social media is extremely important. Forget ads, work on that as the main focus. And then also search engine optimization. That is extremely important, including localization. Google localization is extremely important. I don't know if we touched on that too much.
I was just about to jump into it. Yeah.
So, transitions, baby. Come on. We got some transitions today.
Yeah. So when I look at a restaurant, I always go to their Google local page. Make sure that your Google local page, first and foremost, has the correct hours on there, hours of operation, because if you have the incorrect hours and you have a customer trying to order food, it's going to
piss a lot of people off.
It's going to piss people off. Make sure your hours are updated. If you're too busy to keep up with that, you can always hire someone to do it. You want to make sure that you have the best photos possible on your Google page. So we're talking about, you know, the page that comes up on the Google local, the map pack. If you don't have pictures of your food, people really don't know what are they committing to. If they order takeout, they're not sure. So to really sell yourself, you want to package yourself. You package yourself by presenting what you have. Take the best photos of your top selling products, your top selling items, and put them on your Google local page. They're the first things that should show up when they click on your page. Also, make sure your Google local page has a link for your website. And if you make that link, preferably take them straight to the menu right on the website. That's going to, you know, trigger them to place an order faster rather than trying to dance around or, you know, navigate.
Yeah, you want to make it as simple as possible. So if someone is looking up restaurants, let's say an Italian restaurant, let's just use that as an example. If someone is searching up Italian restaurants and you do a good work with SEO, you do a good job with SEO, you're high in the rankings, people are going to click on your website. They're going to look at your reviews. And if it goes to their website, they have a couple buttons they have to click to get to the menu. That can heighten the bounce rate. A lot of people will bounce off the website, which means they'll go on and then they'll leave without even checking out the menu. If you set the menu as the landing page for that link on your Google My Business, Google Local, then it's going to be very seamless for them. They're going to get right to the menu. They're going to be able to see the options, maybe even add some photos on there, which I personally like a lot. When a business has photos on there, it makes me want to go there more because I can see the food right there. That's very important. Make the sales funnel from the search to the menu as short as possible.
And make sure that the landing page, you can do this. There's some clients we work with that don't want this, but try to put that video banner above the menu so they see that action and all that delicious food on the top, and then they go down and then they see, okay, here's the menu. Now, if your big play is online ordering, just make sure your online ordering button is highly visible. Another important thing is not only relying on your Google page for reviews, but create whatever company you're working with or person internally, make sure that your reviews are rotating right on the homepage so people can see right then and there on your website that you have great reviews.
So the three most important things for the landing page from your Google link or whatever it may be is the video banner, options for catering menu, lunch menu, whatever menus you have, and then also the reviews. Those are the three most important things you have to have. You're catching their attention with the video banner, which will look amazing. They have the options to see which menu that they would like to see, and then they have the reviews right there.
Another very important thing to consider, and this probably will require you to hire guys like us, is getting yourself published in major publications. So big local newspapers, magazines, online news affiliates, Fox, NBC, CBS, these big names. You want some type of PR strategy behind there, because when someone does their digging and they see that there's a story about you guys having the best, shrimp scampi or something like that, and there's like a story about it.
Carbonara.
Let's say you guys, the restaurant received some award. Let's create a PR story about it and get it out there. So when somebody sees it, let's say it gets published, say an editor picks up the story, they publish it on, 4 different media sites. You can take that link and put it on social media and make a post out of it, and then maybe boost it and get it in front of hundreds of thousands of people. But when somebody sees that you're being talked about on the news because you have a great recipe, that adds a lot more weight to people being convinced and want to try your restaurant out.
So real quick, I have a funny thing that I found out recently. So you know how there's really high-end restaurants that have Michelin stars?
Yeah.
So do you know where that came from, the Michelin star?
No.
It came from Michelin tires. And apparently it was some sort of thing that they did way back when.
No, go ahead. No.
Where while you're on the road for a long drive, they will put in like ratings for different restaurants that you can stop at, and that's how Michelin stars was originated.
Yep.
Which is really interesting. I never knew that.
They have that around here. Like they have like best of and this and that, and those are also great to look into, where you want to try to be recognized for something that you have. Try to get that recognition, get those awards, accolades, whatever you want to call them, just to add to the mix. And this is, again, building a restaurant and using digital marketing to grow a restaurant is an ongoing effort. It's not something you just set and forget and not do anything. You need to constantly make changes and manage it. It requires a team or a handful of people to get this done the best way possible. The one other thing I wanted to talk about, which is another area which would require you to hire a professional, is what's referred to as off-page search engine optimization. This is where things get a little bit tricky. This is where you you create content, you publish content outside of the site, and that website needs to have, age and authority behind it.
An example of off-page that you were just talking about, building, backlinks, is the PR you were talking about earlier. When you create a PR campaign, a campaign on a news source, that's like a tattoo on the internet. They last a long time. It's a link. It's from a news source or whatever it may be, talking about your restaurant. That's very important, and an example of backlinks or off-page SEO.
See, Google's interesting. So you can put all these key phrases. So you do your research, you find out that pizza near me gets 6,000 views a month. Okay, you can put the pizza keywords on your title, the pizza keywords on your meta description throughout the website and the content. Make sure your blog is talking about pizza. But Google's also going to look for that reference outside of your website. And it's not as easy as just, oh yeah, I'm going to put it on social media. No, we're talking about working with a group like us or digital marketing professionals that know, like us, that know what they're doing when it comes to building out that architecture outside of your website that validates that you're about pizza. It's called off-page SEO, or it's called building website popularity, or citation. There's tons of names for it, but that's really going to boost up your rankings, and it's going to validate to Google that you're truly about what you guys claim to be about. It's not just about stuffing keywords. People will say, yeah, we had some guy, we put the words in there. No, that's half the battle.
What I was going to say, I don't know if you mentioned this, but it is hard to obtain backlinks as a restaurant owner. It's not just, you reach out to these news sources and they, you say, hey, I have a good restaurant. This is something that you hire an agency for. Can you do it by yourself? Yes, but you have to have a lot of knowledge on, how to write an article, how to get into these, media outlets or whatever it may be. But, an easy way to get these backlinks without hiring an agency is awards that we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, big time.
Awards, can be handed to you by, could be newspapers, could be magazines. Maybe there's a local, I don't know, media store that talks specifically about restaurants, and they one in this area is Hippo Press. Mm-hmm. They do rewards every single time you walk into a restaurant. They if they've given out this person awards, it's on their wall.
Yeah, it's something to brag about. And then remember your URL, your www. Your name, just so in case people don't know what URL is. There are people that don't know. I don't want to use too much lingo. If your domain is on that site and that's a news website, mm-hmm. that gets a lot of traffic and it's got a lot of history behind it, that's valuable to validate to Google that you are truly about what you say you're about. Because the way Google looks at it is if you just say a bunch of stuff on your website, it's technically bias. It's coming from you, it's bias. But the validation is when they see pizza. When they see that reference outside of your website.
So if you're looking to, if you're not in the market to hire an agency or hire a professional that can get you these backlinks, go to a local media station or a media business and ask, find out about their award program. And if it's online, and if it is, that's great. Figure out how to get that award, and you got backlinks. That's off-page SEO.
Yeah, so if you specialize in some craft, whether it's Mexican food, Indian food, any type of, like, say, Thai restaurant, you want to research, okay, who's rating these Thai restaurants, and how can I get listed on that listing? Try my food and review my food, and let's see where I rank. When you have a mention as having your rank number 3 for best Thai food in California or, Boston, now you have a backlink
very, very
pointing
powerful
back to your website, validating that you are one of the best in the area. And when you think about it, customers shopping around, they say, oh, wow, these guys have received so many awards from 7 different restaurant review websites. Crap, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, that summarizes the, at least what we want to talk about when it comes to SEO. There's a lot of different strategies out there, and some of them are extremely powerful, and some of them are just basic necessities for your website. That's just funny. Dude, it's funny because I always, for some reason in my head, I think of necessity as because necessity is a very similar word in Spanish. It's necesito. And so for some reason I don't know why, but and then there's a lot of basic necessities that you could use for your website.
One thing that's very important also is copywriting. Make sure that the header of your website highlights with moving text or text what you're known for. rated best pizza in Boston, and then show the little badge of the award that you received on your homepage. It's all about validation. You're selling, and you're trying to draw in the new eyeballs, the new customers, not repeat customers.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
Move the word of mouth bullshit to the side. I'm talking about drawing people in who are very critical. They're not sure. Use as much as you can to prove that you have the best recipe in town, that you've received multiple awards, that you have the best, whatever dish that you have. You have to sell. And ultimately what this is all about is breaking through the plateau. Having a good product is the nice, it's a good baseline, but we're talking about breaking through that plateau by doing extra things and that are considered essential in today's world.
Yeah. No, it's
Absolutely.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Well, I mean, I think that, is there anything else you wanted to add in? I mean, listen, with these episodes, we're not scripted at all. We just go off the top of our head because that's what we do within, whatever we do. It's just off the top. And so we might have missed a couple things, but I think we summarized it pretty well.
Yeah, we don't need to be scripted because this is what we do on a daily basis.
Exactly.
We grow businesses. Legitimately, we walk in, we talk to them about their goals, and we come in, we make changes, we do things for them. We have a full team, and we take them to the moon. We've taken restaurants from a couple hundred visits a month to tens of thousands a month hitting their menu.
Yeah, hitting 500,000 a month,
multiple millions in growth. No joke.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to build a restaurant and you see you have some people kind of tinkering around, and you want some pointers, you want some tips, you want to take a look at what our programs look like, give us a shout, hit us up, give us a call, or shoot us a DM and we can give you some advice. Or if you want to just talk about working with us directly, just let us know and we'll talk.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today on the Real Business Roundtable. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and also turn on post notifications so that you get notified whenever we post a new video.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Peace out.